What's up, guys? Today's video is actually something that I'm pretty excited to talk about. Now, I do have to preface this with saying that, I'm not 1000% sure that these are real leaks. I just think that they are. So, just to kind of save some embarrassment, because I didn't do as much research into this as I usually do when it comes to other leaks, but it seems pretty legit. It's from a Japanese screen selection for Street Fighter 6, and it sees that we actually have all of the characters and the main selection screen for the characters. And not only that, but we have the stage selection screen with all the stages. Now, the reason that this is kind of likely is because there's a little almost Easter egg where if you actually look at the stage selection screen and you compare it to, let's say, Classic Street Fighter or Street Fighter 2, the characters are in the same exact order. Now, I would say that this would be purposeful by Capcom, but fans of the franchise that are pretty savvy would also be able to pick this up instantly, and if they did create this, then they could use that as a base. Now, I do lean more on the side that this is most likely real. The game's coming out in June, so I'm sure there's a lot more stuff that's out there than probably we wouldn't expect to be at this point. But I do think that the character selection screen, it looks a little plain, but I can see what they're going with, this whole arcadey looking thing for the hub for the character creation and all that stuff. I think it does fit the aesthetic of the game overall. So even though it does look clean, one of my game developer buddies actually pointed out, it looks just like the Killer Instinct screen selection, and it does appear to at least resemble it, but I think that this is actually really cool. So I'm going to show the character selection screen on the screen while I'm talking about this, as well as the stages, and we're going to go over it just a little bit. If you could see the top characters, we do have Luke, and then we have a bunch of the new characters directly underneath of him. But when you go down to the classic characters, that's where the big thing is that I was talking about, whereas you can see Ryu and then E Honda and the others in the same exact position that they normally would have been. So I can show the comparative screen right now actually, but I think this is actually pretty cool. And yeah, it's not as many characters as we wanted to have at launch. Obviously it's Street Fighter, so we're probably going to get a ton of DLC. That's just what Street Fighter does. But I think the more exciting thing is not the fact that it's the characters or the selection screen is revealed. Is that this is the first time Capcom's actually putting a ton of extra money into more modes and single player experience of Street Fighter in a while. I actually can't even remember a Street Fighter game that even remotely had this much single player experience. I know that for fighting games, as niche as they are in the whole gaming community, a lot of the fighting game community is split between casuals and hardcore players, and then single player characters who only play with friends, and then people who predominantly play online. So that's a pretty even split when it comes to that, and I can see a lot of people being upset that there aren't as many characters, but the fact that you can create your character and there's that whole new story adventure mode. I mean, Street Fighter 5 didn't even have a story at launch, so this is pretty exciting that we're actually going to have this much single player content, and the characters are going to come. And there's a fairly good amount of new characters in this game, a lot actually, that it's half the roster are new, that we're going to be learning and playing with until the DLC comes out with more classic characters. I mean, for me, it's pretty much as long as Juri and Ryu and Ken are there, I'm pretty much okay. But that's just me personally. I know a lot of people have their own different favorites, but for me, this is not only enticing, but the fact that they're putting so much effort into the game is what I'm actually happy with, because knowing that we're getting all this extra stuff and the possibility of DLC in the future and how much replay value this game is going to have compared to other games, I think it's interesting and amazing almost that some people are not happy with this. I can understand when some people are oh, well, the last game had 24 characters at launch, and this game only has 18. Well, the last game didn't have an arcade mode, it didn't have a story mode, it didn't have, it had bare bones online. When Street Fighter 5 launched, it was nothing in that game. There was literally nothing. There was one mode. I believe maybe it was just arcade. I don't even know if it was classic arcade. I do not even remember at this point. It was so long ago. But same with Street Fighter 4. When Street Fighter 4 launched, it had almost nothing. It's just happy to see that we're going to have stuff to do day one. Because most of the time when it comes to a Street Fighter release, I get pumped up for the release. I play it for like a couple hours, and then I like don't touch it again until like DLC comes out because there's like nothing to do. So I really am kind of tempering my expectations like I always do, but I'm also like kind of getting excited just because of the fact that like I may have the ability to play a lot of time into this game before DLC comes out, which has me more excited. I mean, this is a great year for gaming in general. Like, we got like Tekken 8 coming out. We just had the release of Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4, which like is probably one of my most anticipated games like ever. We got Naruto Storm Connections. So fighting fans are eating good these days, and I'm really looking forward to it, especially when like ever Soul Calibur 7 is announced. We're gonna have like such an awesome lineup that this may be the generation that actually like maybe goes up against PS2's generation. That's yet to be seen. We have to see how these games are and how good they are. But for that, I just want to like turn the question over to you guys now. I want you to put in the comment section down below or on my Discord, which the link is in the description box. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this character selection screen. Who are you happy that you see returning in the base roster, and who do you hope is in the first wave of DLC? Any and all thoughts are always welcome in the comment section down below, guys. And next week, stay tuned, because on Friday we have a special video talking about the lore of the Conduit in Soul Calibur 7, and it's going to be actually involving a couple other people that I had interviewed just based on what they think the gameplay is going to turn out to be. So look forward to that. And as I always say, guys, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.